Okay, so we're going to be looking at how to reroll your Coromon game, aiming to get a potent or perfect starter. I'm actually going to be playing on the Switch when it comes out. Currently tomorrow it'll be out. It's a shame I can't keep my progress from the demo, but I prefer to play on the Switch just because I've got lots of time where I can play in bed or at work when I haven't got my computer, so Switch is what I'll be playing with, but I can still stream and record on my Switch, so it doesn't really bother me too much. I'm actually going to play through the game on hard mode, which is where if one of your Coromon faints, it will be gone permanently. So partly because of that, I want to actually make sure my starter Coromon is potent or perfect, just so I have relatively good values, and it can give me a little bit of a head start through the early game. Also, I'm going to be picking the water type starter, as it's the tankier one, and it also has a passive which makes it a little bit tankier as well. So just in case I find potents or perfects I want to catch, or I'm against a particularly hard trainer battle, it's going to just stay alive a little bit longer than the other two choices. This is just me running through to show you how to reroll for the potent or perfect, but hopefully it comes up as a water type, and then I can start again tomorrow when the game fully comes out on the Switch. Not only am I going to be playing the game in hard mode, I'm also going to be only playing potent or perfect Coromon for the entire game. So if I do have to catch a Coromon that is not potent or perfect, I will just release it straight away, but at least I get it then in the decks for completion purposes. But I'll be doing lots of searching for potents and perfects, and also making videos on how to get specific ones, potent or perfect, and how to use the endgame materials and items they give you to maximise your chance of finding potents and perfects. If you're relatively new to Coromon and you don't know what potent or perfect is, it's essentially either a high IV or shiny from Pokemon. So a potent or perfect Coromon will have higher stats and also will get a secondary or tertiary colour scheme, similar to how a shiny would be in Pokemon. So I'm going to play through on hard on the actual playthrough, so if a Coromon faints, it will be gone forever. And also you can't escape wild battles, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue because I'm going to be aiming to have potent or perfect Coromon and play quite carefully, so I shouldn't end up getting one hit and losing any of the Coromon. It does let you change your difficulty during the game, so if I find end game I'm risking losing my serious team, then I can put it down, or you can put it down if you change your mind during the playthrough. If you want to do an efficient reroll, you have to pick Yes I Have here, otherwise it gives you quite a long-winded method of rerolling. So make sure you pick Yes I Have and then pick the less extended course. This just makes the reroll much faster. If you do want to see what happens when you pick the longer course, please do that first and then restart and reroll. So we're getting close to the point where you'd have to save the game for the reroll here. You can get to exactly this point, and then you have to save the game. That is the point where you can then run the reroll. So you talk to Nelson here, he talks about stuff that is not important, and then he gives you the option of picking one of the three Coromon. With a fire type Tarayla, We have the water type Nibelgar, which will be the one I'll be picking for the main game when it comes out tomorrow. And then Cover Zero. When you get a potent or a perfect pop up, they should shine like a shiny would in Pokemon. So you should be able to tell which one is going to be potent or perfect. And none of them are shine there, so I assume I don't have anything special. But we quickly check. So we'll see potential says standard, and also for the batter bit, standard as well. Either of them can be perfect or potent. And from here, back to the main menu, load the save. Simple. I think off the top of my head, the chance of getting a potent is 1 in 35, and the chance of getting a perfect is 1 in 3,125 off the top of my head. Please, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, so the perfect is pretty rare. If you don't know how the IVs work in Coromon, it's a lot simpler than Pokemon and maybe a little bit less frustrating as well. There's only one value for all your stats. This value is going to go from 0 to 21. If you roll a 21 value, that would be a perfect Pokemon and you'd get the tertiary colour scheme. So again, standard, standard, restart. So 21 will be perfect. If you get 17, 18, 19 or 20, that would be a potent. And you get a different colour scheme to a standard, but not quite as nice as the perfect. If you're not such a perfectionist, for example, you might get a standard Coromon, but it's got a value of 16. So it's almost exactly the same as actually having a potent with a value of 17, but you just won't get the nicer colour scheme. There is also a machine later in the game which lets you increase their potential value by 1. So if you do have a standard Coromon and you put it into a little calculator and you see that it's a 16 potential, you can then keep it and then use the machine on it later in the game, and then you'll get at least a 17 potential, and you'll also get that secondary colour scheme as well. For me, I'm just a little bit of a perfectionist, so I want to start with that potent, especially as if I'm playing on hard mode, I want it to be strong very, very early game, when it might be the only one I actually have I can use. If I have a lower strength Coromon, it might mean I can't actually get through the early game safely. Now I think I just saw very quickly the pattern bit pop up at the top a different colour, but I may be making that up. I don't know how sharp my eyes are, it does look different. So we have a standard Nibelgar, and yeah, I'm right. So a potent pattern bit. So not only does it look different here, it also looks different in the little sprite that popped up at the top, which is quite nice. But that's a very poor Nibelgar, so I would still roll this again. Unless they change the pattern bit for the full game, it's not a very impressive Coromon. It has a high special attack, but doesn't learn any special attack moves. And it has got an interesting passive which might be useful, but I don't think I'm going to keep it very long, so I'm more determined to get the water type starter Nibelgar as potent or perfect. But again, none of these are going to be perfect or potent either. The other thing to mention is when you do this reroll, you also reroll their starting trait. I'm not sure on Cub Zero's or Taruga's traits, but Nibblegar has 2. It can either be a super sensory, which means one of his stats, his strongest stat, gets raised when one of his stats is lowered, or it can be fully rested, which means you take 40% less damage when you're full health, which is what I'll be aiming for, because just to go in with the hard mode and the potent and perfect only rule that I'll be applying to myself, I just don't want it to die in one hit. Just in case something does a crazy critical hit, I want it to survive. And I can play carefully and just keep it full HP with HP cakes during that early part of the game. I'm a little bit disappointed that I haven't found Potent or Perfect yet. But as you can see, this is how you would roll to get a Perfect or Potent starter. There will be some people out there, I know there are some crazy people out there who will just do it again and again like this until they find a Perfect. Which, if I'm correct, and it is 1 in 3,125, I mean, you could be easily in 10,000 runs before you find it. If you just saw, that Taruga was shiny. It glowed when it came out, and it's clearly a different colour as well. So I will take this and have a look at it, and then we will stop the video until tomorrow when the actual game comes out, and I will play seriously and make sure tomorrow I get the Nibblegar, because I do think that's just going to be a lot better early game, tankier. So I do need to catch a shiny, a Potent or a Perfect. It will just have a little bit more survivability. So here's the Taruga, Potent, and a standard patch of it. And if you take these stats here, so you have the EXP points, you have the EXP to next level, and you have the potential levels. It's not this. You have to either hold the top button on the Switch unless you change the settings, or you can just click here with the mouse if you're playing on the computer to see the potential level. If you take those 3 stats and you put them into a calculator, which I will link in the description, you can see the exact number. So you just type in the 138, the 49, and the potential level 1, and this will tell me that this Taruga is potential level 17, so it's the lowest level of Potent they can be, but for the sakes of this video, it's still a Potent. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments, and the game will come out tomorrow. Let me know if you're playing on the Switch or Steam, and I'll be doing more videos as we go through. If there's any specific videos you're requesting, I'll be being very thorough through the game and making sure I get nearly every species Potent or Perfect if I can. So please let me know what you'd like to see and I can make that happen. Okay, thanks.